All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's Sunday Night Leadership Call. I am your host, Johnny Crossway. I'm also here with one of the newest bronze leaders in the organization, Kirsten Simmons. She's going to get on the call in a little bit, guys. But first, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things tonight on this call. Convention. Convention is less than 2 weeks away. We are less than 14 days out from our international convention in Phoenix, Arizona at the Phoenix Convention Center, June 11th through the 14th. Tickets are still on sale at convention.vema.com, guys. Still on sale at convention.vema.com. And there are about 200, I'm looking right now, there's still $200, guys. If you ask around for upline or you ask around for people selling tickets, you could probably find them for around $100 or $50. So definitely get you guys' convention tickets because convention changes lives. I mean, I personally have about 10 people from my team in Australia that are flying across the world just to be here for 4 days. Imagine how much money that flight costs. Imagine how much money the hotel room costs. And we are here in America where we're just a couple hours drive. Or we're a couple-hour flight, right? Do whatever it takes to get to convention because I'll tell you what, every successful seven-figure earner in this company, every successful six-figure earner in this industry made the decision to build their business big at one of these conventions because the only way that you guys can feel good, the only way that you guys can get in that state where you're surrounded by people who have what you want, the best way to do that is to be in a room at convention where there's 10,000 screaming people who all want freedom just as much as you do with the same products and the same company and the same opportunity, guys. So convention is the place to make that decision to go big. And I'll tell you what, convention is where I made my decision that I was going to make it happen in VEMA, that I was going to be the next big success story. So make sure you guys do whatever it takes to get your ticket and to get to convention. If you have trouble with sleeping arrangements or hotels, obviously get connected with me. And we'll figure it out, guys. But now, I want to introduce you guys to someone who's on the call with us, Kirsten Simmons. She is the newest bronze leader in our organization out here. She's going to Arizona State. She's going to be a junior there. She also just recently won the wakeboarding national championships in all of collegiate or all of college, whatever you call it. So that's huge. So Kirsten's going to come on to the call now, guys. And Kirsten, if you're there, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sweet. So Kirsten, if you could tell everybody, what did you have the most success with in your first couple weeks? I know you've been in this for a month and you hit bronze pretty quickly. What do you think helped you the most into reaching that rank and into getting success with this?
Well, today is day 40 in my journey with VEMA, and I would have to say that what's helped me have the most success is honestly just listening to my upline, listening to the advice they're giving me, listening to what books I should look into, listening to what calls I should hop on, because in the beginning, my leader, Dave, would send me training calls, and at first I'd be like, why are you sending me the same training call? I just listened to this. But then I started thinking, I'm like, wow, you only retain 10% of the information you hear in any given situation. So nobody's an expert. Nobody is perfect at this. So what I recommend is doing what they say, hopping on those calls, plugging into the webinars, plugging in just any way you can, and staying connected. That's really what has helped me. I'm able to attribute the majority of my success back to my upline, David Hyde, Johnny Crossway, and Alex Morton. They're always available for me, and they're always giving me advice on how I can improve. And just simply being surrounded by positive, forward-thinking people has done more for my psyche than anything. And for example, I got more out of my first PEQ, Matt Fulkins hitting bronze, than I did when I hit bronze. It truly made me realize my leadership abilities, and I cannot wait to help even more people find the greatness in themselves. So if there's one piece of advice I can offer, it's just listen to your upline. They're your upline for a reason. They're successful, so take everything they say into consideration and run with it.
Yeah, I mean, I love what you said about being coachable right there. A great quote from Michael Jordan, if not the greatest basketball player of our time. He said that Michael Jordan said, quote, my greatest skill was that of being coachable. Even Michael Jordan, the best athlete in the world at the time, had a coach, Phil Jackson. He was coachable. He was willing to learn. So Kirsten, I love what you said about being coachable, and congrats to your success as well. And I know that you're going to be hitting silver this month pretty soon. I know you're sick of bronze already. So she's definitely looking to help more people get to bronze. Sweet, Kirsten. So a couple more shout-outs, guys. that I want to mention. Shout out to Mia Young out there in Australia, platinum leader. She is on track to increase her cycles this month more than last month. We're only 3 weeks into this Rengevetsa period, and she's on track to smash her cycles last month, and she has more enrollments this month than last month already, which is absolutely huge. Also, shout out to Diego Nahara. He is out there in Brownsville, Texas, guys, out in South Texas. He's on his way to cycling more this month than last month already again. And it's only been 3 weeks into this thing, guys. So we got people that are improving this month. Remember, it's not always about ranks. We are looking for progress. We're looking for improvements each and every single month. And also, Diego is on track to increase his enrollments this month more than last month as well. And lastly, guys, shout out to Lazaro out there in South Texas as well. He actually just hit bronze in his first couple of weeks as well, just like Kirsten. So couldn't get on the call tonight, but I'm excited to get Lazaro on a future call to share his success stories. Also, he frenzied. So that was big time, man. Congrats to you on frenzying, guys. So now with our topic of tonight of training, guys. So I hope you guys have your pens and paper. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to get a pen and a paper. We'll start this training in 30 seconds, guys. Get a pen and a paper. All right, I'm back. I hope you guys got some time to get some pen and paper so we can get through with this training. I just spilled Verve all over myself. Don't have to be perfect. All right, so the topic of this training, guys, is how to run a proper home event, a proper launch event. I don't even like the word home event, guys. I'd rather call it a launch event or a launch party. Okay? And this goes the same for webinars. So home events are the bread and butter of the business, guys. Home events and meetings, whether it's 2 to 5 people or whether it's 500 people, this is the bread and butter of our business, guys. So it's really, really important that you guys know how to run a proper home event. So title your notes, how to run a proper home event. Okay? So let's talk about the setup of the home event. Now remember, for your home events, guys, it doesn't have to start off as 100 people at your first event. It could be you, 3 of your friends, and me at an event. You, 3 of your friends, and me on Skype, etc., etc. So it doesn't have to be huge your first event, right? So the setup. At the front door, you must have nice people at the front door. They got to be enthusiastic. They got to have a warm smile and a handshake. And a nice handshake. You know, you can't have someone who's 400 pounds overweight and smoking cigarettes at the front door with their black in their teeth saying, hey, welcome to the health event. What? No, it doesn't make any sense, right? So make sure you have proper people at the front door welcoming people into the event, guys, so it's not just awkward, right? It's all about the energy, guys. Even if you're not speaking at the event, you are a part of the presentation. You are a part of the setup. You are a part of the play. So act like it, right? So we need someone at the front door. They got to represent our brand. They got to represent our company well. Dress attire. So dress attire is pretty simple. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But one thing I'll say is being over or underdressed is not good. You don't want to be too overdressed. You don't want to be too underdressed. Another thing, ladies, okay? Your presentation should not be the presentation. Let me say that again. Ladies, your presentation should not be the presentation. You don't want to be eye candy. You want to be soul food, okay? So don't distract people from the presentation with short skirts or anything like that, all right? And same thing for you guys. Don't come showing up like a slob, all right? Look decent. Look like you're promoting the brand properly, all right? Also, music. Make sure you guys have good music. Like, hip-hop's obviously good. I love hip-hop, guys, but make sure that you're picking music that's not too offensive for a normal crowd at a home event, okay? So make sure you got good vibes and good music at the event. Make sure that you have cold product. If you're handing people Vemma products and they're not cold, I mean, I can't help you. Seriously. Like, you got to be serving these products cold. I know people still to this day that don't give out some of the products cold every single time. You should make that your effort every time to find an ice chest or get these products freaking cold and let them do the talking for you. Also, make sure that you guys have brochures, tools, and banners, product guides, physical things that people can look at and see. Some people are visual learners, so make sure you guys have that out for people to look at, all right? And also, one last thing that's extremely important, make sure that the room temperature is cold. Make sure it's set to a cold temperature, because if it's too hot, all the people in the presentation are going to be sweating. They're going to be focused on when they get out because it's too hot. They're going to be all flustered. Number two, the speaker, like Brock or myself even, I've been sweating it up here out in the desert lately. We'll be sweating our pits off, and we'll be the laugh of the presentation, all right? So make sure the room temperature is cold. So people are anxious. They're ready to listen. They're on the edge of their seats listening. And lastly, guys, as a part of the setup with the home event, make sure we emphasize the importance of starting promptly, like on time. If the event's at 7, start at 7. If the event is at 7, start at 7, right? And I'm going to let you guys know right now that even though you emphasize the importance of starting promptly, people still won't show up on time for about 2 weeks. That's just how it goes, okay? You'll show up on time every single event for about 2 weeks, and some people will show up on time, some people won't. That's all right. Still start on time. And then trust me, after 2 weeks, watch. People will start showing up on time every single time because they know that you're serious and you're there consistently. So that's the setup, all right? Now, as for the presentation, okay, the host of the house or the event should start off the event by saying, hey everybody, I would like you to put your phones on mute during the presentation, and there will be no recordings of the event. No cell phones, no FaceTimes, no Skyping in. There will be absolutely no recordings of the event. Everyone put your phones on mute. So make sure the host is saying that at the beginning. Everyone put your phones on silent during the presentation. There will be no recordings of the event. As for seating arrangement, I can't tell you how many times that I go to an event, guys, and like all the affiliates are standing in the back, and the prospects are just, and the guests are just sitting in the front, like weirded out because no one's sitting next to them, okay? How the seating arrangement should be, guys, so it's not awkward and people don't feel freaked out, right? It should be affiliate, guest, affiliate, guest, affiliate, guest. Affiliate, guest, affiliate, guest, affiliate, guest. You want to be intertwined, guys. We want to share the energy, all right? So to start the event, guys, make sure we only have one person introducing the event. We only need one introduction. One introduction, then play a video, then the Vemma Flipbook, then the expert, all right? Make sure that you have the best of the best presenting every single week. You got to have the best of the best people presenting every single week at your events or at your webinars until you can feel comfortable enough passing it off to someone. All right, and trust me, guys, do not practice your story. Do not practice your presentation on guests or at the home event. You should be practicing in the mirror. You should be practicing by yourself or practicing in front of your friends. Our affiliates want their prospects to see the best presentations, not the worst ones. We want them to see the best presentations. You can lose momentum in one freaking week if the team starts to doubt the presenter. I'm going to say that again. Don't practice on prospects. You can lose momentum in 1 week if the team starts to doubt the abilities of the presenter. So make sure the best of the best are presenting every single week. If you guys don't feel comfortable presenting, hey, get someone like myself to Skype in or an upline leader to show up at your event and speak at it, guys. Okay? Now, also with the presentation, guys, make sure that you guys are laughing at the presenter's jokes anyways. I mean, this just goes back to being a part of the presentation, even if you're not speaking. I mean, if you're not speaking, guys, your phones should be off. You should not be on them. You should not be getting up during the middle of the presentation to take a phone call, okay? You should not be slouching or relaxing back in your chair. It takes out all the energy of the speaker, guys. This is all about energy. If you think a home event is awkward, that's probably because you're sitting back on your phone, looking at it, not looking at anyone else that comes to the event, and you're probably making it awkward, right? Well, here's how you not make it awkward. You put your phone down, you lean forward, and you look interested about other people and about the event. That's it. If you guys just lean forward instead of slouching, you pay attention to the presenter, right? Guess what your guests are going to do? The same exact thing you do. So if you're on your phone, they're on your phone. If you're bored, they're bored. If you're slouching, they're slouching. If you're leaning forward, they're leaning forward. Just by you guys leaning forward, trust me, that changes all the energy on the room. It changes the energy, everything in the room, okay? Now, so that's the setup. Got through the setup. Hope you guys are good at that, right? They're little things that matter. Music, cold product, brochures, tools, someone greeting at the door, starting on time, cool temperature, right? Cold product. Simple things. Very, 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 very important. It's all about the energy. It's all about the vibe. Okay? So now, let's go to the presentation, all right? First things first, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you're new to this business or you've been in it for 2.5 years, you got to realize right now that you, yes, you watching this call, have to, you must, you have to, you must, you have to, you must, you have to, you must become a great presenter. You have to be a great presenter at some point. Yes, you may not be right now, that's fine. But you must become that presenter. You must become that person at some point if you expect to make big money in this business, if you expect to be that person, be that leader, right? You have to eventually be able to present. You can't let someone else do it for you your entire career in Vemma. It's not going to happen, guys, right? So quit whining and quit looking for leaders to save the day. I'll tell you what, fear of public speaking, which happens to be the #1 fear in the world, right? Fear of public speaking is just the fear of being criticized and judged. It's not your business to care what other people think about you. I don't care what other people think about me. 97% of the people on this earth don't have what you want when it comes to finances and happiness. That might be a little harsh for some of you guys to hear, okay? But most people aren't educated when it comes to creating wealth for themselves, when it comes to creating money, right? See, you can get an economics degree, but you may not know how to earn money properly, okay? So I encourage you guys all to become that person eventually, all right? You shouldn't care what other people think about you. You must form your own opinion about this business. You must form your own opinion about this amazing product. You must stand firm in your opinion, okay? And let me say one more thing about that. You guys are somebody's angel, and they are waiting to hear your voice. I'm gonna say that again. You guys are somebody's angel, and they are waiting to hear your voice, okay? My story relates to certain people. It doesn't relate to a 50-year-old who's never played sports. It doesn't relate to a 60-year-old. My story doesn't relate to an 18-year-old kid in engineering who's never played sports in his life. You know, my story doesn't relate to that. I'm a college kid. I played sports. This is my Vemma story, right? Your story relates to different people than my story does. Kirsten's story relates to different people than my story does, right? Mark Morton or Tom Mulcahysen's story relates to other people than mine does. So that's why we want more speakers. That's why we want, guys, our leadership is chomping at the bit right now, looking for the next people to step up and say, hey, I'm going to be that leader. It doesn't matter what your rank is or how much money you've made or what you've done in this company. All you got to say is, I'm going to be that person. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to learn to get there. We are chomping at the bit, guys. This company is at $200 million in sales right now, and we're headed to multiple billions. What does that mean? It means that somebody has to be the next presidential. Somebody has to be the next 7-figure earner. Someone's got to do it. Why not you? Why not this? Why not now? Decide right now that you're going to learn and do whatever it takes to make it happen, right? So realize, guys, that with speaking, it takes practice. There are no naturals. I was not great at this when I started. I mean, I wish I had recordings of my events from 2 years ago. Like, you guys would actually probably pee yourselves and laugh because it's that entertaining, okay? So there are no naturals, guys. All of these great speakers they were just individuals who once were not very good at this, and they constantly worked and constantly improved their story. When you're speaking at an event, separate yourself from the moment. The mic is not your therapy session, guys. This isn't your chance to share your sob story for 10 minutes at an event. You must get to the point. Yes, I know people have deep emotional whys that makes you cry. That's not the most appropriate thing at an event, though. That's good for when it's just the team, all right? But when you're at an event, you want to be sharing why you're excited. You want to be sharing why you're enthusiastic about your why. You want to be excited about where you are going with this. That's what you want to be talking about with your story at an event, all right? So also with the presentation, guys, make sure that you're using a third-party tool to do the presentation. Make sure that you're using some type of visual. You can't have your mouth moving and not be pointing to something or having the audience looking at something. You can't. You must have something to point to or to look at, right? There's no time for freestyling. There is absolutely no time for going up there and great presenters to just do their stuff for 30 minutes and then, wow, everybody's excited, but guess what? You can't duplicate it. Why can't you duplicate it? Because I tried duplicating it for 2.5 years, and I'll tell you what, it didn't work. Great speakers cannot be duplicated. Phenomenal speakers cannot be duplicated. But what can happen is the flip book can be duplicated. That's what can be duplicated. Sharing the product, brochures, having a video, that can all be duplicated, guys. And you can eventually become a great speaker. You can eventually become that person by learning. But you can't duplicate your speaking ability by freestyling and just expecting your team to magically pick up your freestyling ability. It's not going to happen. So for the event, guys, the amount of speakers, 2 to 3 speakers maximum. 4 speakers max at a home event. Maximum 4, but preferably 2 to 3. You have the host of the event. The host of the event is introducing it. Hey guys, put your phones away, thanks for coming out. The host is kind of eliminating a few objections at the beginning, and they're telling their short story. Like the host is talking for about 1-2 minutes maximum. Then after the host goes, you want to play a video. You can play How to Make It Big in Vima Part 1. That's the one I use. It's really good. Play any video you like. Try not to make it too long, just so it can give people like a kind of excitement and energy to the event. After the video goes up, the host will go back up after the video and edify the next person. Edification is extremely, extremely important. If you go up on stage, you share your story, and then you say, all right, here's Johnny, guys. He's going to explain what's going on. Your friends are going to be like, who the hell is Johnny, and why do I care about this guy? Okay? So it's really important that you edify the next speaker. Hey, yo, this is my girl, Kirsten Simmons. She's coming up right now, and she's going to explain to you guys what's going on. She's been in this business for 4 weeks, but she already ranked up to bronze, and she's got the knowledge like she's been in this for a year. So really pay attention to what she has to say. Boom. Kirsten goes on stage. She doesn't have to talk about herself now. I talked about her for her. And guess what Kirsten does? She goes up there and brings herself back down to everybody else in the room so that she can relate to everybody, right? So make sure that you edify the next speaker. If you don't know what to say, ask the speaker before the event, hey, how should I edify you? What do you want me to say about you? Just ask. Really simple, guys. So the host intros, shows the video, then the host goes back and edifies the next speaker. The next speaker is anywhere from a bronze to a diamond leader, okay? And it can be a success story or a product testimonial. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you can fit a product testimonial into every one of your home events. Have a great testimonial about someone with these products, guys. Give them a 60-second testimonial. That's absolutely huge. And then they'll edify the next speaker, the second or the third speaker, to go over the flip book. Okay? A bronze, silver, or a gold or a diamond leader should be able to present the flip book. The flip book's pretty easy. All you do is just kind of flip the slides and point at it and get really excited about it. And if you want to get good at the flip book, you can just go to YouTube and you can search BK Barreco, Vima Flipbook. You can search Matt Morrow, Vima Flipbook. You can search Johnny Crossway, Vima Flipbook. You can search Alex Morton, Brad Alcazan, Vima Flipbook, and learn from the best on YouTube of how to present, guys. When I started this 2.5 years ago, Alex Morton was the person that was the only person that was my age that was making 6 figures that I could look up to. Okay, He had what I wanted at 6 figures at 23 years old. But guess what? He was not with me every single day. So what was I going to do to become a good speaker? I could just wing it, which is what I did for a time, and it didn't work out very well. I don't recommend you doing that. But what I started to do was I looked up Alex Morton Vima presentation on YouTube, and guess what I did? I started listening to it over and over again every single day. Now, I didn't copy his presentation word for word because I'm not Alex Morton. You don't have to be Alex Morton. You don't have to be Johnny Crossway. Be yourself, right? But what you can do is you can study the best of this business, and you can pick up on certain facts or statistics or good sayings or pictures that they're painting that you can add into your presentation. So it's your presentation and not Alex's. It's not my presentation, it's yours. I've heard a few people say sometimes that, you know what, Johnny, Vima is so good, the information is so good that it doesn't even matter how I present this. I can just freestyle. It's so good, it doesn't even matter. People get it. That might be true, but let me ask you this. Would you rather have a prime New York, best kind of steak you can imagine, right? Picture the best New York strip steak, if you like steak, that you can imagine, right? Would you rather have that New York strip steak on a silver platter, served to you in a restaurant with energy and ambiance and by a professional waiter and a professional cook? Or would you rather eat it off the ground? I'm pretty sure you'd rather eat, I mean, it's probably so good off the ground, honestly. I might take a bite out of it. I'm not even going to lie. But everyone would rather have it off of a silver platter, guys, okay? So the information is so good, it doesn't matter how I present. That's a load of crap, all right? I would rather serve this on a silver platter than on the freaking ground. That's up to us to serve it on a silver platter, guys. That's why we bring people to home events and webinars and do it the right way. Now, I want you to write this down for your notes. This is something to keep in mind throughout the entire presentation, right? Here's what the newest person is asking themselves. Here's what guests are asking themselves. This is what's going through their heads at events. They're asking themselves 3 things. They're asking themselves, can I do this? Can I do the presentation? Can I invite people to this? Can I do this? That's the first one. The second one is, do I have time to do this? Can I do this? Do I have the time to do this? Then the last question, which is really the most important question, is they're asking themselves, can I bring my friends into an environment like this? Do I feel comfortable bringing my friends into a place like this, around these type of people, and listening to this speaker? Those are the 3 questions you got to be thinking about, all right? Don't do what works, do what duplicates. So, when the presentation is over, guys, make sure that you keep your guests in the meeting room. Don't take them to another room to help them answer questions by yourselves. I don't know why people do that. People do it. But definitely keep your guests in the same room as the speaker in the presentation. That's where all the energy is. That's where all the vibrance is. I can't, dude, I'm serious, guys, when I say this. Like, I've had at events before where there would be like 4 friends, all have a little bit of questions. They're kind of on the fence, right? And then the 5th guy will come out of nowhere and say, Johnny, I'm ready to go. Here's my debit card. Those 4 guys will look at me and say, okay, I'm ready to go too. Fear of missing out, right? If guests are at an event and they see other people getting started before them, they're freaking out. They're like, holy crap, I'm losing my spot right now, right? So keep everyone in the same meeting room. A great quote, I don't know if you guys know who Holton Buggs is. He's actually the #1 network marketer in the world, earns around $1.5 million a month with freaking coffee packets. Nothing wrong with it, but he's a boss, okay? You know what Holton Buggs says at events? He says, I don't talk to my team at events. I don't speak to my team at launch events. I only speak to guests and prospects. So Holton Buggs said, I don't talk to my team at launch events. I only talk to guests and prospects, guys. What does that mean? Home events are not the time to shoot the shit with your Vima affiliate who you see twice a week at the event. It's not the time to talk about Steph Curry and LeBron James, okay? That's not the time to talk about it. It's not the time to talk about how your friend quit your VEMA team last week and he sucks. That's not the time to talk about it at a VEMA event. So keep your shop talk, keep your crap talk outside of the VEMA events and make it about the newest people there. That's what the whole event's for, guys, is we're trying to help people get educated and see this opportunity, how it can change their lives. So make it about them. Don't come to the event just to talk crap and sit in the back, all right? We don't even need you at the event, okay? So in closing, guys, I hope that helped you guys out with home events and webinars. Well, I spoke about home events. As for webinars go, I know that we're like the only team that's actually running webinars like to share with prospects, so that's a good thing, guys. It's just another tool that for some reason, I don't know, people just don't use. So a webinar, right? Some people are asking, how do I host, how do I do a webinar with Johnny? How do I do this, right? Well, we all have friends on our list that can't make it to home events. We all have friends that can't make it in person. But guess what your friends can do? They can get off Facebook for 20 minutes, click on a YouTube link, and watch you and me give them the best opportunity of their lives and make a decision about it. That's what your friends can do, okay? So if you guys schedule a webinar this week, and by the way, this would be on Google Hangouts, so I recommend everybody download the app Google Hangouts so you can properly do a webinar. Google Hangouts is great because prospects don't have to download an app. They can just click the link and watch it from their phone or on the computer wherever they're at, right? So schedule the webinar, okay? Once you schedule your first webinar, just schedule it. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. Schedule it and let me know. Hey, John, I got a webinar, 7 o'clock on or 6 o'clock on Wednesday. Can you speak on it with me? Yes, I can speak on it with you at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And then we'll talk about how we're actually going to present it and go through it, you and me personally. Okay, so the webinars, guys, is another great tool you can use to expose people in other cities, states, countries around the world all at the same time, guys. I'll tell you what, right now, it's better to do this business fast than slow. Would you rather do 10 different one-on-one meetings, an hour each, which takes 10 hours, or in 1 hour you can share the presentation with 10 people over a webinar or at a home event? Option B is faster, the home events and the webinars, okay? Last thing I want to talk about tonight, guys, I'll give you about 20-second break because I'm going to sip some Verve. I'm going to talk about following up. Following up. Write this for your notes. The fortune is in the immediate follow-up. The fortune is in the immediate follow-up. The fortune is in the immediate, not just, it's not the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the immediate follow-up. Emphasize immediate, okay? Another thing for your notes. FAMBAM. F-A-M-B-A-M. FAMBAM. FAMBAM stands for from a meeting, book a meeting. From a meeting, book a meeting. Really, really simple, guys. So whenever you guys have a one-on-one event, like a one-on-one meeting with a friend, you do a three-way call with your friend to talk about VEMA. You meet with your friend at Starbucks. You bring your friends to an event. You get them on a webinar. Whatever the exposure is, your guest is not hanging up the phone. They are not getting up from the table. They are not leaving the home event until you have scheduled the next time you're going to meet with them. So from a meeting, book a meeting. It's extremely important, guys. When people say, oh, I'm going to think about it, or I'm going to do my research, what makes you think that waiting a week is going to help them? What makes you think that they're going to be more excited 7 days from now, surrounded by all their negative friends, family members, and people who don't have what they want, versus right now after the home event where there's warm vibes and there's warm energy? They're way more excited after the home event, guys. So I'll tell you something. Time kills all deals. Time kills all deals. You wait 3-7 days and expect your friend to just hit you back, and more likely than not, it's not going to happen. So the fortune is in the immediate follow-up, okay? So I'll give you guys a couple examples of how to follow up, right? Say the home events. Hey guys, thanks for coming to the event. The next event is 7 o'clock on Thursday. If everybody brings a few people to that event, our team can double. See you guys at the event. Never have a home event without closing by saying, hey guys, the next event is at this time, at this place, it starts at this time, and this guy's speaking. You gotta have something that you're promoting to. You must always be promoting to something, whether it's an event, convention, a webinar, a training, or meeting up, you're promoting to the next event. Because remember this, guys, the average person, this is for your notes, the average person takes 4 to 6 exposures before they make a decision. The average person takes 4 to 6 exposures before they make a decision to join. So some might take 1 and they might get on board right away. That was me. Some people might take 3 months. That was Kirsten, right? But it doesn't matter. It's your job to take people from exposure to exposure as quickly and as condensed as possible. 4 to 6 exposures is the average, guys, so don't quit on people just because they don't make a decision after the first home event or the first phone call they take or the first product they try. We have 15 different products. We have a bunch of different success stories, and hey, it might not have been the right timing, guys, so just because someone says no just means not right now. They might need it 6 months from now. They might need this 12 months from now. 90% of recruiting, guys, is all about timing. They're either looking for opportunity or they're not. So remember, just because they say no, keep them on your list. You're going to expose them later on down the line. Okay, so from a meeting, book a meeting, right? Say, for example, you're on a three-way call with someone. You, your friend, and then I share my story about the business and stuff, right? And then I get off the phone. You could say, hey, you know, what'd you like best? They'll say, oh, I loved the product. Great. So what are you doing on Wednesday? Let's meet up and I can get you to try some more product. That's scheduling the next meeting before you hang up the phone. What'd you like best? Oh, I loved the team aspect, right? Say you're at a home event. What'd you like best? Oh, I love the team aspect. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? If I can get you on the phone with my mentor, Johnny, would you be willing to speak to him? He has a crazy, incredible story. I've actually told him a little bit about you. So you're just setting up the next exposure. So following up, guys, is all about from a meeting, book a meeting. And I'll give you a tip of how to follow up and schedule appointments properly. Scheduling appointments is pretty hard, especially when people, you know, have this and that excuse, right? So here's how I personally schedule appointments when I'm following up. I'll say, hey, you know, thanks for coming to the event tonight, right? What'd you like best? They'll say, oh, I love the product and I love the team aspect. Great. When are you free this week so I can introduce you to some more product and I can introduce you to one of my mentors? He's got a crazy story. You'd love to hear it. Oh, I'm free Tuesday and Wednesday, right? Okay, what works better for you, Tuesday or Wednesday? Give them an option. What works better, Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm free on both days. Okay, Wednesday works. Great. Give them another option. Remember, option. You're giving them an option. You're not saying it for them, you're giving them an option, right? Okay, are you free morning, evening, or afternoon? Are you free in the morning, in the evening, or in the afternoon? Which works best for you? Oh, I'm free in the evening, or at night. I'm free in the evening, right? Okay, give them another option. Hey, are you free at 4 or 6 o'clock? Because that's when my mentor is free. That's when I'm free. Okay, I'm free at 6 o'clock. Great. So Wednesday at 6 o'clock, you'll for sure be there, right? Yeah, I'll for sure be there. All right, sweet. See you then. So I scheduled the appointment by giving them options. Hey, when are you free this week? Oh, I'm free Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday. Morning, evening, afternoon. Evening. 4 or 6 o'clock. 6. Great. Can you for sure be there at 6? Great. See you then. So give them an option. I like giving them an option. I think that's a really good way to follow up, okay? So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight on the call, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in and staying for so long. I know I'm a little bit fired up. Kirsten, thank you for getting on the call. I really appreciate you sharing your story. It helps out all the new people. Guys, if you're tuned in, make sure, if you were the only person on this call and your team was on this call, you could have done a little more effort. You could have made the extra phone call. You could have sent out the extra text message to get your team on this call. I mean, if you enroll people and you're not immediately plugging them into the upline, if you're not immediately plugging them into the system, you might as well have just lied to their freaking face. It is your responsibility as a sponsor to get your new people plugged in, trained, and inspired. Because guess what? If they're plugged in, trained, and inspired, and they're seeing results from this product, they will never, ever leave you. Ever. So with that, guys, I'm fired up. I'm passionate. I know I drank probably too much Verve today. That's why I was yelling a little bit. But tune into next week's call, guys, on Sunday night. It's going to be at the same time at 6 p.m. unless you guys think there's a better time to do it at. Tomorrow night, the Monday Night Builders Call, that's happening every Monday. That is going to be at 8 o'clock Pacific time, 10 p.m. Central time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. That will not be on a webinar. That'll be a conference call. I will post the link out tonight, guys. And I'll be going over the 4 commitments, the 4 steps to earning your money back in your first week in Vima. So make sure that you guys get on that so you can be able to teach it, and make sure you get your newest people on that so they can earn their money back as soon as possible, guys. Convention, June 11th through the 14th. I will see all of you guys there.